This is news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Now let's talk politics, where the ruling New Nigeria People's Party in Kano State at the weekend received 1,000 defectors from the All Progressives Congress. Spokesperson for the Deputy Governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shuaibu, who disclosed this in a statement yesterday, said the defectors were received into the NNPP on Saturday by the Deputy Governor, Aminu Gwarzo. According to the statement, Gwarzo had, while receiving the APC defectors at the government house in Kano, also directed the caretaker chairman of the 44 local government areas in the state to ensure that they are on ground in their domain and not operate from outside. According to media reports, the development comes as the APC in Kano State battles a crisis over the controversial suspension of the APC national chairman and former governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, who is also reportedly facing bribery charges filed against him by the NNPP-led state government. Moving on now to Ondo State, the Deputy Governor, Dr. Olaide Adelami, has described the victory of Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa in Saturday's governorship primary election of the All Progressives Congress in the state as a testament to the positive impact he has made in the lives of the people within 100 days in office. According to a press statement signed by his spokesperson, John Paul Akinduro, the deputy governor said every step of the governor has been divinely ordained, stressing that last Saturday's victory says a lot about what God is planning to do in Ondo State through him. Adelami, who hailed the governor for displaying an uncommon ethos and leadership qualities before, during and after the election, urged other aspirants to support the governor for accelerated development in the state. Adelami, while congratulating the governor on his historic victory, assured the people of the governor's unwavering commitment to pro-people programs, projects and policies all through his tenure in office. Now, in what may come off as the unending high level of impunity and corruption in Nigeria's governance system, the trials of a former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, may have just started as the federal government has placed him on its watch list to prevent him from escaping from the country. The Nigerian Immigration Service, in a circular dated April the 18th, 2024, and signed by Assistant Comptroller of Immigration, D.S. Umar, for the Comptroller General, Kemi Nandab, alerted the police and the Department of State Services to effect the former governor's arrest. According to media reports, this came hours after the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission declared Bello wanted in connection to an alleged case of money laundering to the tune of 80.2 billion naira. The EFCC declared Bello wanted on its official Facebook page after failed attempts to arrest him on Wednesday in Abuja. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, has withdrawn all police officers attached to the embattled former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. The order for the withdrawal was reportedly contained in a police wireless message on Friday. Now, a political analyst, Cosmas Ekpunobi, joins the conversation as we dissect the legality of EFCC's actions and perhaps the unending corrupt practices in Nigeria's democracy. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Right. Over the weekend, we understand that over 120 civil society organizations and NGOs protested the arrest of an alleged corrupt ex-governor. How would you react to that?
Is it protested against?
Against. Okay. Thank you.
Well, that is the beauty of democracy. We keep hearing things like this. These are most times rented group, paid rented groups, so to say. Well, ex-Governor Bello, certainly this is not the best of time for him. And from the look of things, the young man has turned himself to a fugitive in his father's land. And the federal government, of course, just like you said, has placed him on a watch list. This is something that could have been prevented. What is there that you are linked to 80.2 billion naira money launderer? Is it not for you to come and defend yourself? So why are you running away? So he has made his case so bad that in the legal balance they will now term him as a risk, flight risk, because you cannot grant such person with such record bail. If in the event they arraign him and they ask for bail, no judge would be quick to grant him bail.
Is that what is obtainable?
Yes, because
Okay.
of this behavior. Somebody could cite it in the law court.
Okay.
This man has evaded
Arrest.
and therefore nobody in the court cannot trust him. If you grant him bail, he can as well.
Okay.
The time there is flight risk.
Okay.
So it's rather very unfortunate, and again we need to also look at the role of the incumbent governor in trying to prevent the arrest of his predecessor in office. That is rather very unfortunate, and from what we had, it contravenes I think section 38.
But the state governor has come out to dismiss those claims that he wasn't instrumental to Yahaya Bello's escape from the clause of the EFCC. When EFCC
he has dismissed it. He has dismissed the claim by EFCC. These are two official positions. So are we taking the EFCC story or we are taking the governor's story? Well, we are relying on what the newspapers or the media were saying.
Yes.
That this contravened section 38 and subsection 2 and A and B. That no matter how highly placed, you do not have the right to prevent the EFCC from performing their duties. And that was exactly what Governor Osman Ododo did last week.
But were you expecting anything different?
No. Look at the scenario they painted. That's this the EFCC operatives were in somewhere in
Yahaya
zone 4.
House,
yes. Somewhere in zone 4 to effect his arrest. And suddenly, after some hours, the governor drove him there, and the next thing they had that the man has been whisked away by the governor.
That brought about another question as to whether or not Governor Ododo is where that came from. Or do you think he's still in the country as we speak?
Well, the white lion is just a title, so to say.
Okay.
It's just a title. It has nothing to do with what we are in now. So he's not deploying his might.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of might now. It's a matter of law. So come up and defend yourself. That's the only question there.
Now, for these 120 NGOs and CSOs to come out over the weekend, to throw their weight behind the move made by former Governor Yahaya Bello, it tells you something, which is these CSOs and NGOs are supposed to also be a watchdog, right? Societal watchdog. So if you're coming out to, protest against the arrest of an alleged, corrupt ex-governor,
Yeah.
Where does that actually put, the sanctity of democracy?
Well, just like I said some of these NGOs are rented groups.
Is it? Don't you think it's hard time?
I also read where some Ibora youth won the UFCC and they could take to the street in the event they harm their son.
But does all of this?
It hasn't come to that level yet.
Is that an indication that corruption has come to stay?
Corruption is fighting back. Corruption has come to stay. People are using the money also to fight corruption, because if you look at the records of some of these NGOs you have mentioned now, they must have gotten something from somewhere.
That speaks volumes.
To go to the street to protest. What is your business? There are some NGOs that are not even from that state. That the NGOs that don't even have any business to do with that state. And yet we are asking the EFCC to abandon his constitutional responsibility because Yahaya Bello is involved.
Don't you think it's about time the federal government go all out to scrutinize, the existence of this handful of NGOs and CSOs we have?
There are some NGOs that are not registered with CSC. There are some pockets, the NGO, that you could use. Most politicians use them, particularly when they want to fight their opponent. They could deploy them to say all manner of things, and then use the media to project that interest. So that is exactly what is playing out now.
On that note, I guess this should be a wake-up call to the Corporate Affairs Commission to beam its searchlight on, the many CSOs and NGOs that we have in Nigeria.
How can you have about 120 coming up together to say, don't arrest this man? On what ground?
But how effective are, the anti-graft agencies? Are they really working, considering the rise in corruption?
I have the EFCC in this case. At some point they were playing to a guy. There are things you can do quietly and still achieve results. You don't need to come up in the open and begin to talk all manner of things to the extent you say they could deploy military to help you arrest the government. It hasn't gotten to that stage. You can as well arrest this man if there is any need for you to do so.
Don't you think that came from a place of, public criticisms at, the commission over time? You recall what happened to Rochas Okorocha, the former governor of Imo State, at the time when EFCC's operatives, besieged his premises. I mean, it was more like a use of force, right? And it sparked,
No, but if you want, I'm saying if the EFCC, if they have gotten to a state that they have to deploy the military, they don't need to come out in the open to announce it. That's what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to make.
But that ensures transparency in the process of fighting corruption.
It doesn't.
Okay, we don't need transparency while fighting corruption.
Look at with the judiciary also. They have to also share in the blame. Look at two conflicting ruling, interlocutory injunction granted by the Kogi State Federal High Court, Justice Liman, asking his EFCC not to arrest or prosecute ex-Governor Bello. Then the one of Federal High Court here, Justice Nwite, asking the EFCC to go ahead. The same judiciary. So are you now saying that they should not arrest Bello because he's above the law? Or you have already looked at the issues on ground and say, no, this man is innocent?
Well, why is the justice system, it appears the justice system is weak and
Very
slow.
weak.
In terms of, inserting punitive measures on, offenders. Why is it?
Well, because the judiciary over time has allowed the politicians also to hijack the process. That is why situations like this, you could see a federal high court in
conflicting,
Kogi State
now
asking an agency not arrest ex-governor or prosecute him even. That means, in the opinion of that court, there was no offense as to arrest the man for.
But will it be right to say that the whole system is flawed already?
Well, the whole system is weak, just like you said. It's very weak because we have to, even when this man is eventually arrested, and there may no any other thing further than all that is playing out now. There may be no justice at the end of the day. You may just arrest him. The next thing is to grant him bail, and the next thing is just nothing is hard again.
No, but you said earlier that granting him bail, the chances
No.
That
is the position.
Okay.
That is the position.
Okay.
That is the position. Any court of law today, because of the scenario that was painted, because of the way and manner the man has evaded this arrest, they have placed him on what they call risk, flight risk. So such person cannot be trusted.
But at the end of the day, don't you think is hard time this immunity clause thing is removed
I think
from
that
serving governors?
I think that is what is also causing problem here. Maybe ex-Governor Bello still think that it's covered by that immunity. And again, the immunity does not also mean that the incumbent governor could use it also to protect any interest. He himself is the only man that enjoys that immunity. The very moment he was sworn in, that immunity clause or whatever is conferred on him. And the other man remains open. So he has to answer for whatever he must have done. You understand?
But don't you think the governor at the moment, Ododo, is only being loyal to,
the loyalty...
I don't want to say Godfather, but...
loyalty against
to
the detriment of the law, of the country. You don't do that. We are talking about the law. And nobody is above the law. So your loyalty should stop somewhere in Kogi, not here.
But at the end of the day, why is it so difficult to include capital punishment, as done in other crimes for people who have been accused of corruption and also found wanting at the end of the day, even though we know the whole process might take some time?
The thing is that it's a very difficult one to do because the people you expect to include that are the people that are always involved in corruption. You understand me? So these are the people that they will look at themselves.
So are you trying to say the whole system is corrupt?
No. Wait,
there is no hope again.
Until we begin to get leaders that are sound.
Okay.
Leaders that are without blemish. That is when you begin to talk of, enforcing some of these laws. The problem today is not lack of laws. It is problem of implementing those laws.
Without sentiment.
Yes, without sentiment. Look at this, the case of this ex-governor Bello. Why would a court grant an order preventing EFCC from arresting him?
But in all of this, you know, quite a dramatic, you know, encounter it has been. I mean, for Nigerians and also the accused, former Governor Bello, Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. But at the end of the day, isn't this a pointer to the fact that the claims by some Nigerians over time that if you join the APC, your sins are forgiven, and for that reason, the EFCC cannot come after you?
That is even what baffles some Nigerians now, because we are looking at what point did this Bello becomes how will I put
a
it?
Scapegoat?
Not necessarily scapegoat.
A sacrificial lamb?
Not sacrificial lamb. Where did they disconnect from the powers that be?
Do you think this is a political witch hunt?
I look at it as much. I look at it because why would they celebrate that? You can see the frenzy, you can see everything about Bello has been politicized and what have you. These are things you can quietly. We have seen some ex-governors that were tried and what have you. It didn't get to this level. It didn't get to the level of trying to deploy the military, the government now declaring him wanted, you know, placing him on watch list and what have you. So there is more to it. But again, just like you said, we need to also begin to address these our so-called governors. The governors are becoming the emperors. Something like this happened under week in 2016, if you recall, when the DSS or EFCC wanted to arrest the Chief Justice of River State. Not Chief Judge, the Chief Judge of the Federal Court, Port Harcourt, Justice Lima. You drove in and picked the man up.
All because of the immunity.
Yes. So you don't use the immunity to also.
But you know, asset declaration is one yardstick that, you know, would have been employed to address, you know, corruption. I mean, cases like this. But whatever happened to that?
Well, asset declaration in Nigeria is what you prepare. The items you prepare to list for people to know.
Or you prepare to list?
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't want to say, I have 2 houses, you can as well say, I have only 1. And nobody, no agency. The agencies we have today cannot go beyond that. In developed countries, once you declare, a lot of things that can be linked to you can easily be exposed. But here we can use fronts. You can use all manner of names to cover a lot of things. So it has to do with what you are willing to declare. It's not necessarily as a declaration. So when you are not really even willing to be sincere or whatever asset you have, there's no need. You don't call it asset declaration. So you cannot even declare something that will incriminate you.
Well, apparently, asset declaration seems not to have any bite on, you know, the fight against corruption, especially for those, you know, in office. But as it stands, I mean, with the carry-on of the EFCC in recent times, it looks like it is all out, you know, to fight corruption tooth and nail. But in the days ahead, what do you see happening with regards to this case?
I don't want to say that EFCC is just restraining Bello and any other political opponent, so to say. But I want to say that maybe this is a new EFCC.
Perhaps.
Then we are expecting them to begin to, you know, get some favorable judgment against some of this corruption. So after this doings about Bello, we expect tomorrow that yes, with their facts and whatever, Bello has been either freed or arrested.
All right. Okay, we'll leave it here and you know, keep tabs on the progression of events as they unfold. But as it stands, former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, he is still on, you know, the watch list. And perhaps if you have any idea as to where he is at the moment,
they have not placed any decision on him.
No bounty.
No bounty yet.
But do you think if a bounty is placed on him, people will be able to? He'll be easily fished out from his.
You can only say I saw him.
hiding.
You can only say I've seen him somewhere. But
it's quite fun actually turning out to be in Nigeria's democratic system or dispensation, if you like. But just like I said before, we just have to leave the conversation here now. Wait for more updates. Hopefully, we'll come back here to discuss this issue more. Cosmas Ekpunobi is a veteran journalist and also political analyst. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that's it for news analysis today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Omo Ife Peace of Semera. I'll be back at the top of the hour with the news update. Good afternoon.